Welcome back. I'm World Undone. This is episode, I'm thinking 6 by this point of Disco Elysium. We just pawned off Kim's hubcaps. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, hang on a second, if you like Kim so darn much, don't you feel guilty about pawning off his hubcaps? And, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, we'll return to Gart with the spinner cache. So we'll walk and talk. We'll do that while we wax poetic about our status in the game so far. Anyway, what was I talking about? Kim, who I'm always talking about. So the thing is, yeah, I'm doing Kim a favor. Kim would just be looking at those hubcaps like, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. He's gonna be worried. You're still out here? Worried about them for the rest of his darn life. Now they're gone. Now they're in the pawn shop. He never has to worry about them again. I'm trying to give Kim something more valuable than hubcaps. It's peace of mind, okay? I always have Kim's best interest at heart. Maybe. Maybe.
Can I help you?
About that money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
I do.
Well,
Here's 130 real.
great. Thank you, officer.
Whoa.
That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
Okay.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him.
Oh, a bit of a wimp, are you?
The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Excellent.
Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
20 real is not so hard to find.
I'll take a room here too.
Ooh.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Nope. Alright. Find money for rent and pay guard. Okay, so this is an ongoing quest. Alright, that's fine. So I'll, just keep walking around the city, basically. Might as well. See who's out past certain times of night. So you're still here, interestingly enough.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
You see, this is exactly what I was wondering.
I'm a Nighthawk. What can I say?
Yeah, but you were here in the morning, too.
Odd.
Gotta go. Alright, so let's see. What's this? Is the racist lorry driver still there? No. Neither the right to work people. 7 to 11. Well, it's not quite 11 yet. Should be soon. Well, let's go in right before closing time. Let's see if there's anything different about the place. Nope, still same cashier. Same everything. Could buy a raincoat. Actually, clothes could be helpful. Yeah, they could be helpful.
You see several packaged.
There you go.
Thank you. Alright, so let's take a look at it. Clothes. What does the raincoat get me? +1 endurance. So I put it on over my jacket. This gives me +1 spirit to core, which is actually quite nice. That can be quite handy, though. And I think I may have some endurance checks. No, not you. Not you either. No, that's pain threshold. Ugh, come on. What? Okay, seriously, why is it so hard to navigate through this? Okay, that's physical instrument, conceptualization, which I'm not going to try and pass. Interfacing, okay, pain threshold. So none of these are endurance. So that's good to know. Yeah, once Kim is gone, I'll put on the raincoat. I don't need a spirit to core with when he's not around. At least I don't think I do. Oh wait, his measurehead's still up here. He must be, otherwise it'd be very easy to get through the door. Yeah, stands here all night. Hello, Measurehead.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Yeah, well, tell me something I don't know. Specifically about the smug. Do you know anything about the smug?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
So, hey, know anything about it?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
Okay, so this is just such a low check. Let's leave. Let's equip some stuff that increases physical instrument. Pry bar should help. Let's see, physical instrument. Nothing here. White tank top. That should work. None of these. Gotcha. Alright,
Your
so...
race descent has only worsened since the last.
Alright, sorry. One last thing here. Quick save. Rather not die.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Ow!
This happened. Your little fist is in his giant hand, and he's squeezing it. It hurts.
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it. I am a degenerate alcoholic.
You're not wrong.
Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
Look, man, just because me and Kim are gay doesn't mean the entire organization is homoerotic, okay? I mean, we're not gay. Screw you, Measurehead. Why are you making me say things? Ridiculous. Alright, Kim, what's up?
I'd appreciate it if you didn't force us into situations where I may have to shoot random civilians, because that won't get us anywhere. I'm not even sure the one bullet my chamber holds would even prick that hook.
Well, how else are we gonna get through the gates?
There must be some other way. Let's go see the yard again. It faces the other end of the harbor. We're done with Measurehead here.
Alright, fine, I won't do it again.
Let's think of something else.
Alright. So, where do I go from here? Okay, Kim. I thought Kim would be going to bed by now, but maybe he waits until midnight. Some of the technical stuff about this game has a little bit to leave desired. Just random, like, audio glitches and, like, difficult pathing. Stuff like that. I wonder if the old woman's more talkative now that I'm, it's getting closer to midnight. Okay, I guess I gotta go around. If she's even here. She is.
The woman still has her. No response. Nothing.
Alright, good talk. Can I retry this check yet?
An old monument.
Nope. Didn't think I could, but might as well try. Alright, what next, what next, what next, what next? Oh, is the cryptozoologist wife still here? I'd like to give her a pin back. Oh, she is. Excellent.
Hello again, sweetie.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
Her eyes follow your movements with some concern.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
I drank so hard that I forgot literally everything.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
We're the Whirling in Rags cafeteria? It was on my keys.
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located?
It's in Revachol.
Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol.
So I don't know much about it. What kind of place is this?
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days.
There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost.
Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's the spring of 51.
That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Excellent.
Her
I have a
relief
pen
is
now.
palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
That is an excellent question. So maybe democracy. I'd like to think it's dictatorship of the proletariat, but something tells me it's not. Fierce warriors who traverse the plains on steeds. We are governed by what? There's like this weird, like nomadic, paranatural thing we've got going on. Okay, I gotta read this one out. Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perception of reality, concealing our true masters. Foreigners and women. Let's try the first one.
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
If there's no government, how come there are cops?
Oh dear. And you were doing so well.
Maybe
There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution.
I should have talked to her about this earlier.
But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
Yeah, well, join the club.
You were doing quite well up until the end, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant blows his nose
Look,
in
Kim,
his notebook.
this is important.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
You look so much younger in your 3D model than you do in your portrait. What's the revolution you mentioned?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
Okay, so 42 years ago. 42 minus 51, so that was the year 9. Now, of course, this is just the last two digits. But 9. 09 of some sort. So, but I'm a cop. Whatever it was hasn't stopped me.
Of course, sweetie. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
Who could tell me more?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
What an idea.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Okay.
Of course. Then I
Ooh.
don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've met any wealthy people. No one I can think of.
I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket.
She smiles up at you earnestly. Come on, you should have it back.
Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it again.
Oh, secret task.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Hell yeah.
Now, what else, sweetie?
Alright, I gotta get going now. Enjoy your pen. I was feeling kind of guilty about keeping it, because unlike... So, yeah, the other thing about Kim's hubcaps, no sentimental value there. Plenty of sentimental value in the... Oh. Cute. Plenty of sentimental value in that pen. Reality lowdown. Rich people are educated. If you say so. They have received an education, which is different than it being educated. I believe it was Mark Twain who said, "Never let your schooling interfere with your education." In fact, I know for a fact that Mark Twain said it. So, what now? I can sit on that bench, have a grand old time, but there must be other things. Well, I know for a fact that there are other things. Let me try talking to the hobos. to Capeside Apartments, Martinez Pier, to Roundabout North. The ad reads, broken window? Tibbs has windows. What the heck is a Tib? If you had a... Okay, so yeah, we need a bag. Interesting. Maybe I can get a bag from this guy. Listen, boy. I don't stir up trouble. I fix it. Onward, soldier. Ooh, there's a couple things here I should probably pick up. Oh, awesome. Yes, please. Let's check out this here. I've been kicked out of every joint in Revachol. Oh, what? Bullet holes lines the wall. That sounds like it might even be relevant to the investigation. Alright. Let's go here.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Let's look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word owner written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Damn, I wonder who could have done that. I guess we'll never know. Quite the puzzle. We'll shift our focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards.
I'm guessing that's the Church of Weirdos that was mentioned before.
The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows.
Oh, I think we can repair our morale a little bit by patting this viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm wearing gloves, idiot. Whatever, man. Sure, let's talk about vandalism.
This coin
Probably some kids.
Yeah, one kid in particular. Oh, there's another coin slot.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary.
Pretty cheap, but I don't need it now, especially because I'm going to be paying rent now. God forbid. Alright, tools. Let's pick up some tear here. Somewhere. Yes, perfect. Okay. All I needed was a bag. Now I'm really making money. Hopefully I won't run out of inventory space with these 10-cent bottles. Was it you? I think, or maybe it was you.
The dented yellow mailbox greets.
Yeah, I think you had some tear for me. Yes, I will. Okay, so she's a night owl. And over here is pretty much a ghost town at this point. All the workers and everybody have left for the day. I'm sure Measurehead is going to be standing right there for the entire game. So I wonder when Kim's going to bed. Another great question to ask. This didn't used to be open. Can I go inside? The answer appears to be no. Not yet, at least. How are my skill points doing? Got 4 and 80 experience. So I could talk to Kuno S, especially because I have a feeling that she has my gun. And we don't need to be equipping this bag anymore, so let's throw it away. Okay, so the tear doesn't take up any inventory space. That's kind of handy. I think it's all still in the bag. So let's start running around, go to the apartment complexes. It's not like they close. People gotta go home at the end of the day. So it's almost 11. Check this out. A lonely cormorant surveys the seas, indifferent to your approach. What's a cormorant? Oh, I think that's a lot further away than I initially expected. So this is the Cape Side Apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, or Ghislain, roundabout north. Oh, this is open now. Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to...
when I'm talking to you.
No, thank you. There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? Can I talk to her?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
So that sounds maybe like a Scottish accent. So Cindy the Skull, I certainly hope she wasn't the one who took my gun.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Let's start with your blood type and go from there.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Old ladies? Okay. Despite the attitude, she puts the brush aside.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
So you keep looking off to the side. What exactly are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about when I was mentioning just a little bugs in the game. It's a lot more buggy, especially because this is the final cut. So this is like the final update, which I thought would have eliminated some of these bugs, but I guess we're not so lucky. She nods disdainfully towards the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
She seems respectable. Maybe she's rich, and she can tell me about the world.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
The smirking whore from Highgarden?
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
So she probably is rich. Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her.
Oh.
She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
Well, that's a shame.
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Excellent advice, Kim. Wacky is something I can do easily.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon.
Alright, so what are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural. An aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
Why does everyone use this singular tense of graffiti here?
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home, and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
So, yeah, I guess that would be pretty difficult.
She wants it to be something true and total.
Alright, why are you so committed to defacing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium.
I'm sorry, I was under the impression that I was wreaking havoc throughout these streets for, at the very least, a few days.
I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
Okay, I have an opinion on this. Wanna hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
You know, I was kind of expecting that to happen, so I'm I'm feeling a little smart right now, not gonna lie. Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Fair enough.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
Yeah, I think there's been a grand total of 1, maybe 2. I'm mostly thinking of Annette.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Alright, so you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
That first option seems a little, it leaves some to be desired. Just help me out here.
Ugh, alright, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
So, the fishing village, that should be past the inoperable bridge, so maybe we can find that on Wednesday.
If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
And there's a little girl wearing the gloves there.
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you.
Because I got hypnotism in the brain.
I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
She looks at you a little sad suddenly.
Or a weakness for police officers, miss. Thank you either way.
Catch you later.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Yeah, didn't seem like I cared about that all too much. Okay, autosave. Is Kim gonna bounce so we can find the armored gloves? Handy. So we could start getting into a conversation with the rich woman. And there's plenty of stuff I can do here. Can I examine that? Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Ooh, lots of stuff to examine. Alright, let's do it. What else is there? There's something over there. Tempted to examine that. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach.
I think
her
the
green raincoat glistens with droplets.
I think the
A silk
purple
scarf is tied around her throat.
I think the purple little halos that we get are for like supernatural stuff. Anyway, a striking woman. Okay.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Joyce L? What does the L stand for?
Peyton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. What exactly is the RCM? I remember hearing it from somewhere.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia. The police.
Right, but we're not wearing uniforms, so what gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Alright, you got us there.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
I'm sure we do.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
I thought we were on Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle.
Yeah, don't diss Kim's car. He'll come at you.
It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
Well, it's honestly pretty fun. Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19, because that's the type of sloop it is.
Not exactly a sentimental type, are you?
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Alright, cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cor de Leyte 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat, it makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cor de Leyte, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I don't know. Feels pretty.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with a factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
Alright, what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Yeah, it looks pretty sleek. How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Oh god. Are you into disco?
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
That may have been sarcastic.
I really do like what the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Okay, so he actually does like it, because he wants to catch her off guard. Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act. A law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I have a handle on this boat thing, so no license needed. She takes a sip from her thermal cup. Tell me about Wild Pines.
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
That's kind of fascinating. Let's see. Who are the other Indo-tribes?
Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Oh, so you're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
I don't know, kind of sounds like you did exactly that.
A billion?
What exactly is a billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
What's it made of?
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop. She grasps the mainstay for balance.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
I'm sure it is. Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Everything, yeah, I'm sure, but it probably helps to start out with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed, or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
Okay, so what does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all the cargo in the world? That is quite the endeavor indeed.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Alright, lots of dialogue options here. I don't mind going through all of them, but it may... Yeah, we're almost certainly going to be talking to this lady past midnight. So what can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets? So, it starts with wait, so I should pick it.
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
Okay, so an octopus? I will slay it.
Good luck. It's only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
So what is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
I see.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
That's interesting. So the union isn't even negotiating anymore. I wonder if the person who was hanged was union?
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, you mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
She leans back and rolls her eyes. How are the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
I see.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Interesting.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
That's what unions do, bro.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
I'm sorry. Significant concessions, overtime pay, and a medical plan. This is not exactly extremely communist stuff. This is pretty basic when you're working at any... Okay, so what happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself. Get ready.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Cool.
Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
I see. So, okay, what are their demands this time?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember this briefly. They want ownership. So let's see. I like it. I don't know what to think about it. Over aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business. Huh, I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board.
Democracy now! What exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
I see.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
I love these options. That's pretty funny, I have to admit. The workers can't be kings, the king is dead, the king is dead, long live the workers. I don't even understand what these are supposed to be. That's pretty funny.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
Alright, so what are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
Ah, coup.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
Yeah, I doubt you've left your boat all that much.
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Yeah, that is most certainly who it was. Pardon me. Alright, the scabs at the gate, did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Yeah, I think that's a yes.
If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
That's an absolutely yes.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Once things get worse. Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not.
Oh.
Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Ah, God, I'm seeing double. 4 crusties.
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Ah, so they're always working.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
That does sound pretty crap. So, I see. So, they're the union presidents, and when one term... Okay, so, yeah, I understand, is the important part of this. What about the union itself, outside of the brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
Usually this is something quite vulgar.
A mob.
Oh.
The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
She turns to me.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
So my options are an effective advocate for the rights of the local working man, a giant leech sucking the life of Revachol, basically a socialist mob. Seems fine.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
I mean, it's not really wrong to say that it's a socialist mob. Oh, there's still more. One more thing. Just one more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Gotcha. So these guys are actually more dangerous than I initially expected.
Thank you for your concern, man. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need.
Of course. How else can I help?
Well, what can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and
Oh,
badge numbers.
God.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
I highly doubt it will.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. Only one option.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
I like both of these options. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
Yes, it does.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Well, gotta find the badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
What kind of arrangement would it be?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort.
Interesting. How do I negotiate my way out of this? Let's try it.
Easy. Just offer her a favor. Like I said, nice and dirty.
Nice. Alright, so that, I almost failed that check because I got a 4. Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials?
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
Makes sense.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones.
Could be.
Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Sure, Kim. What's up?
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
Oh, how'd you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Oh, so we're henchmen now?
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
What do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it.
Okay.
What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Okay. We could just, find my badge. So I want to make sure I understand what he's asking here. Ask her, then we investigate, but do not share. Okay, we could just, find my badge.
Oh, That would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Alright, I'm sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
Let's get back.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with at this late hour?
It's night. Don't you ever sleep?
Matter of fact, I don't.
Why is that?
I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see.
Old, huh? I think I have that too.
Don't worry. It's curable. With questions. Ask me some. It'll help pass this night.
I'm sure it will. Okay, so we've passed midnight. Tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isla into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Okay, I just gotta absorb all this. Give me a second. Raw ingredients. Okay.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Drugs?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Right, lots of drugs in this world. Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Am I gonna need bolt cutters for this?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
She gives me a knowing look.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
A pissing match.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Marvelous. It's no coincidence that the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We
Ooh.
asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However,
She pauses, looking to the sea.
this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
She looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable. The weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
So, we're all trapped here now, essentially. So, no going to Jamrock. Understood. What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
That's actually a really good point.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
Oh, is that the curse that was mentioned?
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs? I mean, yeah, that seems obvious.
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Fair enough. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching. That's true. Don't know if I need to tell her that, though.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We will take this case, probe the drivers, see what it yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup. So, I've been noticing this for a while. We can ask her about the tattoos, which is a little strange. I guess she's well educated, but I don't think she would know much about tattoos.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you do know about the tattoos.
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Naval terms?
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Is that so? Let's try it again.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Why? How's you looking at this photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the force.
She
Alright,
wants to answer the question.
This reality.
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
Oh, God, Kim. I feel bad that he has to explain everything for me.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby.
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Okay. Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders.
Oh, no, I think she's gotta go to horny jail here.
A brief spike of longing in her upright body. The dots under her eyelids shake.
I was right?
This place used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
So you banged a dock worker as a teenager. Tell me about that.
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. The boys certainly did not.
I see. You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we... Sorry for the background noise. Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities.
I see.
Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou. as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Tell me about another, perhaps even more fundamental aspect of reality.
I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing?
Wait,
We're
hang
in
on.
Martinez. Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing about it. Revachol. Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built the city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
I see. When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
That's a fairly long time ago, and why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Shivers. Okay.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Monsieur will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But won't I be lazy if I don't do it all right now?
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Okay, Mom.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
So, Ken Kitsuragi is suggesting that I don't necessarily need to, what's the turn of phrase here? Have all these conversations right now, but honestly, it's late at night, there's not a lot of other people around. Might as well get it done, at least until 2 a.m. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what? Yeah, I used to think that too. Then we started living in historical events again.
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
Ha! And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
So, who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution.
That's a lot of heads.
But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
I'm sure you are relieved.
Oh, and the anarchists too.
God damn it.
They shot them well.
I mean, I don't have any
So well, one forgets they even existed.
political leanings, no sir. Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle.
The lieutenant mumbles from behind his notes.
Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew.
Reminds me of the Bayeux Tapestry. So, why'd you call him the king?
The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Okay. Smart king, cowardly king, love that king. I don't care about kings. I don't really care about kings.
About head shooting,
Who got the mineral rights?
the liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultraliberals. They fared well.
Wait, hang on. I've got two... statistics in my journal here, and I have both communist and ultraliberal, so I guess they were kind of friends? How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
I do remember.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
Yeah, not exactly surprising. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition? Kind of reminds me of, everyone in the world against Napoleon.
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Oh, I'm sure it was very moralist.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
I see. So she may contain a few more multitude than, let's say, Plaisance. Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head.
Gotcha.
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
I see.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
If you say so.
The color of moralism is blue.
Oh.
The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Interesting. So maybe that's why we've been so drawn to blue. Or could be something else. Yeah, it might be something else. So let me take a look. Don't think I am. Not just technically, practically. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes, I am. And also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question.
Could it be the turn of the century?
The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
So who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
I see. A pandemic ended up causing this. Note that this game came out in 2019. What did this Zarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Really?
Of course not.
Oh.
It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
So where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
I suppose that's well said. What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
Well, I'm trying to comprehend all this. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting da-da-da-da-da. Okay.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
Interesting. So this is the government, essentially. What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies. Charmed.
Welcome to reality.
Wow.
Baby.
That was a lot
From
of
the
XP.
looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we'd played it right.
So what would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
So let me look at my options here. I asked you, I would have sought a medical solution, I would have killed more. Oh my god. Alright, calm down, Chairman Mao. I would have made off with the mineral rights. I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I don't know what I would have done differently.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
Probably.
No, almost certainly. The Commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided.
I see. Well, that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I think I will. I want to know what you are. She hums.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
An ultraliberal? Sorry, the second option is just about Twitter in a nutshell. What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
So you were friends with the communists? That seems strange, considering how rich you are. So what's so vile about that?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financial colonists. No sane person identifies as an ultra anymore. Not in broad daylight. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
Fascinating.
Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
Wow, alright. I guess we could try to seduce her. I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Vile devil.
I hope we are able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk, and the treacheries committed by my people against the suzerain and the commune. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
I like her voice actor. Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Alright. I know I'm supposed to probably hate her because she's a rich jerk, but I kind of like her. Not gonna lie.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Yes. I'll try it.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Conceptualization, huh? Sure, we got time. What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective, in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
What causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Yeah, we all know.
She nods slowly.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie out in the open somewhere.
So I was thinking earlier, this necktie sounds an awful lot like Jacksepticeye, who's another YouTuber out there. It almost makes you wonder if it is Jacksepticeye. I don't know if he's done any voice acting work, but it just sounds so much like him. Anyway, what is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. half submerged in some salty sea.
What, really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
Fair enough. I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
See, she pronounced it with the soft G. I don't know why this is the biggest mystery of the game for me. How to pronounce Ghislaine or Ghislaine. I just suppose, you know, my high school French is, well, I'm trying to save my pride a little bit, I suppose.
Or two.
What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A?
A pre-revolutionary
Nice.
tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
I know I shouldn't be reading ahead, but I can't help it.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
Is it, though? What is that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
Well, that's just kind of a fancy way to say, whatever. I know what she means.
She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture
Counterculture.
with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I love these options, and I do understand everything, so...
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
Well, I have seen that.
All right. What next?
Oh,
Well, I think that's pretty much it. Might as well try this out.
A strange coldness
Wow.
comes over you
Snake eyes.
as you look at the world. The waves, it's on the tip of your tongue. A doubt of sorts already in your head. It's
Oh.
not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later. Once the jamais vu thought is complete.
Alright, that's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Alright, that's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
You too. Fascinating. So that was an autosave. We're still working on all this. Jamais vu. So let's see. The 15th Indo tribe. Yeah, I'll unlock a new slot. I got the skill points to spare, and it told me to internalize this, so I might as well. Marvelous. Okay, so journal. Oh, right, we need her info and the jam mystery, so we want to talk to the drivers about the smuggling. It's done. Thanks for the reality lowdown. Any other... Oh, I can do the backyard wall again. Ooh, I can do the horseback monument. That sounds handy. Ooh, and the central furnace. That sounds really handy. Maybe later. Alright, well, that was... I had fun. I don't know if the people watching back at home had fun, but that was a very enjoyable conversation, I must say. So anything I missed here? Looks like yes. Oh, right. I didn't miss that. I already tried it. So conceptualization. Do I have anything that boosts conceptualization? Wait, what? Level up? What does that mean? Oh, whoops. I accidentally leveled up my empathy. That was easy. Okay. Well, thanks, game. I think they realize that they don't exactly have very sensible tooltips sometimes. Right, so we need what for this?
Just an ordinary wall.
Conceptualization.
Nothing to see here.
Cindy. Oh yeah, Cindy the Skull, that's right. So what gives me conceptualization? Oh god, I wasn't wearing my shirt. Excuse me? Do you mind? Alright, so let's see if this increases the chances.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Why?
Wow.
It's a wall. An ordinary wall.
That was a really good roll, but wasn't good enough.
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass by? We have business to attend to.
It's very important, Kim. You wouldn't get it. This is Rockstar stuff. So let's check out some of the stuff over here. Move faster, please. A garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Is this snow? Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Can't go there. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. Eerie. What are you? Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. Well, I'm sure we do. What about this? No, can't reach it. Alright, Kuno S. Did you take my gun?
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep? Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
I'm sorry for sneaking up on you.
Faggoty.
Mm.
Look at the ass on that.
Right. So, before she kills me, I want a quick save. She's killed pigs before.
Trying to sneak up on me?
Wait, what?
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out? Get away, pig!
That didn't work. Well, whatever. So is there anything else I can do before I have to go to sleep? Let's try to talk to Cindy the Skull.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
The lieutenant is desperate. Hatred? The woman on the...
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye
Ozon is an arc...
on a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
So this is why I wanted to talk to Cindy, because I thought there might be some new dialogue options now that I had chatted with Joyce, and I was absolutely right. Wow, the negativity.
Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor?
Look, it's not a crush. It's more of a, Damn, maybe it is a crush. Whatever, man. I've got Kim. And my ex-wife. Those are the only two people I'm in love with, okay? So, I've got a park bench here. That's not the one I... right. Oh, those are the view holes. Ooh.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Kim, look, bullet holes.
Where?
Someone has been shot. We're cops. We should solve it.
There? Those are old.
Oh, you mean like from the Revolution?
Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the Revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law.
Okay. What can you tell me about this revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
I'm sure. Right. So there's the bench. There's his car. What else is there? What else is there? There's that stuff. Right, what other checks could I... Whoops, that's not the right thing. What other checks could I try again? Central Furnace. Oh yeah, Horseback Monument. That one I wanted to try. So it's an encyclopedia check, if I recall correctly. Do any of my clothes help with that? Encyclopedia from... Ooh, my hat. Excellent. No. I kind of didn't think they would, but always worth double checking. Let's try talking to the old lady again, just for fun. Is she even over here? I think she is. Whatever. So let's check out this.
An old monument stands in the middle of the Travel Island, pointing toward the sea. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
So anti-centennial, that means before at the turn of the century. So this was a separate revolution before the big revolution that everyone's talking about. How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices.
Sounds like he had plenty to sell to make it back.
He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
Let the meat cake.
The man certainly knew how to live.
Thank you, Jacksepticeye. Wait, really? There's no way that's true.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
The what now?
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy.
This is a lot to process.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie?
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later. Right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay.
So I think I already got an answer to this. Where is he buried now?
Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum.
What happened to the statue?
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn of the century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
Makes sense, and I think I already know this. It was a touristy people, but who restored the monument?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
That's brilliant, so funny and nihilistic.
People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death.
Alright, well, that's about it. So I think it's about time for me to hit the proverbial sack, as it were. Wait, proverbial? There's no proverb about the sack. I'm just gonna hit the hay. No proverb about the hay either. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head in here and go to bed. Let's see. Oh? Hello, Gart.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those.
I don't think you do. I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
But there may be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen.
He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with...
He changes his mind.
Fine. Okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Fair enough. Goodbye. Alright, so time to go oop the stairs. Oh god. So, we might get to show Kim around the place next time. In the next episode. Sorry about hitting the microphone there. So, I had a blast talking to Joyce, talking to Cindy the Skull. Both of those seem like fun little characters. And yeah, I can't believe it's episode 6, and we aren't even in the second day yet, and I haven't earned a single achievement. This game is really quite the journey. I don't mind it, and I certainly hope some others do enjoy watching this particular series. Not getting all too popular, but just you wait. I've been surprised in the past. Either way, this is World Undone. Thank you so much for watching, and take care until next time.